This is one of the best movies I have ever seen.
Wow.
What made you feel that this is a story that the world needs to see?
The story of Robert Oppenheimer is simply the most dramatic story I've ever encountered. I mean, whether you're looking at fiction or historical fact, it's a story with incredible stakes, incredible suspense. You know, this is a person who changed the world forever. We live in his world, like it or not, and we always will.
When did you realize that you could write a script like this?
So I was interested in exploring Oppenheimer as a potential film project, and then I read American Prometheus, a great book by Kai Bird and Martin Sherman. It's 25 years of research, of incredible detail. It's a beautifully laid out book. That gave me the confidence to take on such a complicated project.
And Christopher, the way you line it up, you got the World War, you have nuclear energy, you also have communism, Nazism, all turned into one, and it all really happened. I mean, the drama that was taking place and what was happening here was really crazy, because there was a sense that if the Nazis got it and beat us to the bomb, the world would forever be changed.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. Once the atom was split, a lot of the scientists, a lot of the great physicists around the world pretty quickly figured out the potential for some kind of doomsday device, some kind of bomb. And one of the things that I found most dramatic about this is that Oppenheimer knew all the German scientists. You know, he knew the chess player on the other side of the board, you know, Heisenberg. In his early years in the 1920s, he'd gone to Europe and he'd studied and collaborated with a lot of these scientists. And so he's sitting on one side with his team, putting his team together, knowing what they're doing on the other side. And the stakes were very, very high for the whole world.
But you mentioned chain reaction, and that when asked a couple of times, Oppenheimer asked, "Are you going to blow up the world?" They couldn't be sure they wouldn't. Here's a look.
Neutrons smash into nucleus, releasing neutrons to smash into other nuclei. Criticality, a point of no return, massive explosive force. But this time, the chain reaction doesn't stop.
It would ignite the atmosphere.
When we detonate an atomic device, we might start a chain reaction that destroys the world.
He's talking to Einstein there.
Yeah.
Think about that conversation.
Amazing. I mean, in the later years after the war, Oppenheimer wound up running the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton, and Einstein had been there for years and was there, and so they would meet and talk, and you're looking at two generations of the leading scientists of their day.
The story is really about a guy, too, Oppenheimer. You think he invents the bomb, he's a hero for a brief period of time, but you make it pretty clear that this is a mixed blessing.
So this is the first time the scientists were ever asked by the military to try and win a war. That had never happened before. And so suddenly science finds itself in the position of, okay, we've created this thing. What say do we have in how it's used? Do we have a say in how it's used? Or is that the politicians? You know, and so Oppenheimer wound up in the post-war years. He wound up in this really complicated situation between science, government, and the media.
Do you think that when he passed away, he was viewed as a hero in America?
I think that his reputation has changed over time. He was rehabilitated to some degree, you know, by Lyndon Johnson giving him the Fermi Medal, and then over years, it's taken a very long time, but just this year, the Department of Energy revoked the finding against him in the security hearing. It took that long for the US government to acknowledge that this great wrong had been done to him. So I think his reputation will always be an ambiguous one. He was an incredible hero for his country, a great patriot. One of his great quotes is, you know, "Damn it, I happen to love this country." That's a big part of who he was, but he also had this past that became inconvenient to where the world went once fascism had been defeated and communism became the big threat. And so I think he'll always have this very ambiguous position in history. And I think his story, it's a cautionary tale. It raises all kinds of troubling questions, and the film doesn't pretend to have any kind of easy answers. It's really, it's just incredibly dramatic to live through this guy's experience.
Can I just say the casting, Cillian Murphy, unbelievable. I think he's going to blow people away with this. How you guys don't walk away with every award possible is unbelievable. How much do the awards mean to you?
Not much. I mean, we make the films for audiences, and it's great to have a film like this come out in the summer, which is when people are really primed to go see things on the big screen and hopefully have an exciting experience, and that's what we do it for.
It's 118 degrees outside, so go inside. The air conditioning's in the theater. Christopher Nolan, thanks so much.
Thank you.